Hello, friends! Welcome to Squaird Plans, where creative planning and organization comes to life. I'm Stephanie, and today we're going to be designing a horizontal layout in my agenda planner for the next week in November. So come play with me. And I've got some washi tapes here ready to go, along with this ink and blending brush, some stickers I got from Amazon, and these Planning sticker books, which I'll pull from. Okay, let me lay down some wax paper and we'll get started on this week's design. I had an idea that I actually got from another Instagram planner babe, and I was going to try it out on this week's spread, but then when I started to map it out, I realized that it was not going to be very functional for me for the week. So I kind of scrapped that idea, and we are just going to see where these stickers take us without that plan in action. The layout I had seen before on Instagram was of almost like a road snaking through each of the pages with the houses on either side, which was really, I thought, very creative, and I thought I would love to try that in my own planner. But like I said, when I kind of mapped it out, I was realizing there wasn't much space for the functional side of things for myself and my planner. So again, we're going to try something different, but I will try to link that Planner Babe's Insta handle in the description if I remember. If I don't, and you want to know, go ahead and drop a comment and I will get it to you as soon as I can. Okay, so I've already started laying down these houses that I'm pulling from the Planning sticker books. There's a set in both the seasonal houses and the houses and trees sticker book that have identical styled houses, even some duplicates. So I went ahead and combined those two books to just make these stickers go a little further, although I didn't really need to in the end, as I had plenty on just one sticker book alone. And I am laying them down here on my spread. Layout wise, I'm thinking random, meaning I plan to put things where they just kind of feel right and not really think too hard about the structure of where I'm putting the stickers on this one. Sometimes I have a very unique plan or a very specific plan where I am, doing something where it's definitely going to be like a middle column, or it's definitely going to be a border around the edges. But for this one, the style is more loose and random, and I'm just going to start laying things down and seeing where those designs take me. I am mixing in a little bit of the trees and bushes along with the houses just to create a little scene on each day. I am thinking about sizing too. I have some that are smaller at the top on the top days, and then as I get closer to the bottom, I'm going for the larger items to give a little bit of dimension to the spread, giving you some distance vibes as you're looking at the spread. And I had played around with this long box from Planning, thinking I might bring that in for some colorful boxes, but in the end, ended up just using some individuals I found in the other sticker book, and we'll just drop those in where they feel right. Again, kind of more random, but usually when I do these spreads, you can see a little bit of a pattern that almost always works, which is doing every other day, and then also, if it's on one side, going towards the other side on the day below, and vice versa. So you can see how that pattern works, and then I decided to fill in some of the other ones with more of the smaller boxes, and I'm just dropping those in. Again, just more of a random, loose vibe, but you can see how I approach it. I definitely go for more of a kind of triangular relationship between the boxes and the decor for the most part. I've been thinking about doing a video really detailing more of the design elements that I am just kind of doing in my head most of the time on my spreads. Share some of those insights with you. If you guys are interested in that, please let me know in the comments. I've been thinking about doing it for a while and how I would approach it. So just let me know, and I would be happy to figure out something that I think might be valuable for you guys who maybe struggle a little bit with designing your own spreads. And I've dropped in a few of these like branchy fall leaf stickers in the top corners. I really like that little extra element of decor there and color as more of a textural item, not so much part of the house vibe that I've got going there, but just the overall fall vibe. So I'm going to try to make that work, and I may even spread that to the bottom corners. We will see. I think that it could go that far depending on how I lay those two stickers out in the top. Now I am doing a little bit of sticker shuffling here with the boxes and the houses. This is more of a balance thing for me, just like what I feel will balance out best on the spread, and also too functional. So making sure that each day has that functional space, which again is most important to me. I don't want to build a planner spread that I cannot use. I want to be in it all week, but I also want to be in it as in like I want to use it. I want it to really help me get things done. The decor is just a way to keep me engaged with the planner versus it being, just creative for creative sake and not really that useful. That's how I approach all of my spreads. I always want them to be useful. So I am tweaking things as I see problems may arise as far as spacing and functionality. And that's why you might see me move things around on this wax paper and not know why I made those changes. That's usually the reasoning behind the adjustments that I make. And now I'm into these quote stickers that I got off of Amazon. I got a pack of I think either 4 or 8 individuals of this exact same pack, and it was a really reasonable price. So I have these for days. And I just thought it would be a nice way to add some quotes in here, kind of low key, not too overwhelming on the spread, but still give a little more what I call texture. You can kind of see how the small type adds a bit of detail and texture that wasn't there before I put it in. And so it's just a little something else to add to the spread, makes it more interesting, makes it feel a little more creative and unique, I guess. So I'm adding those in. I cut a couple of them in half to make them fit the space a little bit better. Playing around now with this one setup, which is the only one that has a double house setup. And I also don't really like the styling of the house there that I've been moving around. So that may change. But for now, I'm leaving it as is. Moving on to the washi tape that I pulled, seeing how I might incorporate some of that as added texture. That black and white look really coordinates well with the quotes. Just kind of gives that repetition and the texture that I like to have in my spreads for that added interest. So I've laid some of that dot washi down in strips, again kind of skipping over days, and so you'll see the pattern really there is every other day there's a little bit of that washi, and you'll see that on the opposite side of the page as well, although there'll probably be a little bit more added at the top to finish things off and make it feel balanced. kind of playing around with this gray box now because I've added in now washi. There may be a bit of a conflict. Also, I didn't like the doubling up that I had originally, so just adding a little bit of a change here. Sometimes I get myself kind of backed into a corner when I make a change, and then I have to rework things to make everything fit. Just a little habit I have of doing to myself, but we will see if this can all work together as is at this point. And I am going to put back that other little house that I didn't really like the styling of. Now I have another washi here that's in this kind of solid brown tone that I thought would be a nice addition for more like a ground element. So we'll try to bring that in, just see where I can lay some of that in as well for added decor and color. Do have to, again, rearrange a few things as I move and adjust and try to fit in all the things like these trees, but now I'm having problems with the balance of this area. Again, thinking about functionality, so I need that space on the side for my checklist, so I can't have it go too far over towards the spine. Maybe I'll make an adjustment with the positioning of the specific stickers just to make it all feel okay. I'm going to move that dot washi over a little bit just so it's not so stacked on top of each other in that area. And I think we're ready to start moving things over, but I'm going to keep a lot of this stuff here on the wax paper so that I can get a feel for where I want to put this background ink. The color I'm using is, I think this is called Brush Corduroy, which is kind of an interesting color, but it's more of like a golden yellow tone, which is great for fall. Originally, I had pulled this to do the road idea that I had seen, but again, didn't work out. So now I'm just going to try to use it behind the decor stickers to kind of simulate the road idea, but keeping it, like I said, functional. So it ends up being a little bit more like a wide wreath on the spread, almost like a oval. But again, I think that it still maintains that functionality, which is most important. So I just kind of brush that in some areas. I do think it adds a bit of something extra to the spread. Definitely makes it a little bit more vibrant, and it also kind of creates a bit of unity between all of the decor pieces, which I liked. So I just brushed it in. You can see it's very rough, but with this ink, the way that I am using it here, where it's more of a background element, it does not have to be perfect. You can see I have some heavy spots, some lighter spots, some skipped spots, some funkiness with, the brushing. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. That is what I found I like the best, is when it's just kind of imperfectly perfect. You know what I mean? Some things to note about the ink that I'm using. This is the Tim Holtz Distressed Oxide, which is very similar to another type of ink that I'll use in my planner, which is like a chalk ink. Both sit on top of the paper. They have almost like a bit of a powdery look to them. And I think that is what causes them to be able to sit on the paper versus soaking into it like a standard stamp ink might do. So I highly recommend those inks for planning, especially when you plan on double-sided paper where you have a new spread on the back and you don't want to see that ghosting or that bleed through happening. Distressed oxides and chalk inks are best for that. Like I said, this one's very widely available, this Tim Holtz brand, so you should be able to find that at any craft store or online. Of course, I'll have all of this stuff I can find links to linked in the description below from this spread if you want specific things that you're seeing here. But also to, you can look around and just see what you find if you're on the hunt for some new ink for your planner. I've dropped in quite a bit of the stickers here on the right-hand side, just basically going day by day, if you will, with the clusters and putting things down as I see it works, aligning things with that ink that I laid down originally. For this top corner sticker, I think I'm going to try to use down on the bottom as well. So I've bumped it out a little bit from the edge to give me a little more extra on the trim piece. So again, I can use it on the bottom if I desire. Okay, so we've moved on to the left side. As I'm going, I am also whiting out some of those black lines behind the stickers where I see that they would really show through behind the transparency of the sticker. I just got this set of white gel pens from Journal Say in my Journal Say haul. If you haven't seen that, it was a really good haul. Lots of great fun things to play in with. But these pens, it's a set of 6. They were super cheap. And I love the coverage. I've been using for years the Sakura Jelly Roll pens, which I still think are really good, but you have to get at least a 1.0 tip for it to cover without a lot of extra drawing over the line. These pens here are super fluid. They give you a lot of ink, and so I've been using those for the last week or so and really love how they lay down ink on top of my spreads. That's my new favorite ink pen, especially for the price of what you get and just the coverage and the ease of use has been fantastic. I've laid in a few more of the clusters now and just making those adjustments or whiting out any lines as I go. We've got this big sticker here again that I'll probably be using on the top. And I'll do another bump out of how I had this placed on the wax paper again for more of a trim piece. Just lay that in and then reuse those trimmings on the bottom corners. Again, using that white pen to clean up those black lines behind the sticker. I'm going to do the same too on some of these that I've already laid down and I see there's a real, not a bleed through, but a real showing of those black lines behind those stickers. Just do, again, some trimming. Let those white lines I've lightened dry a second before I stick down the stickers. Just give it time to really set. Using any trim pieces I can here in the bottom to make that look like it's kind of a seamless corner. I got this one here. I'm just going to drop it in. And we're looking really good. I'm going to straighten out this washi that was a little bit crooked. And then I realized that this wall was a little bit crooked as well. So I'm going to come back to that. But let's go ahead and first lay in my checklist to make sure we have enough space and all the days. Just trying to find a good spot for each. And I'm just using a mild liner for this. I make these little bullets and then I do a symbol tracking method to track my tasks throughout the week. If you've never seen any of my After the Pens, you can really kind of see that method that I use. And if you want to know more about that, I'd be happy to do another video talking about that as well. Just trying to figure out what you guys want. I know that there's a lot of information out here in the planner community, so I don't want to give you something that you already know. trying to give you some fresh ideas. So just looking for some feedback from you guys on that. I went ahead and cleaned out the hole, and I'm just going to use my sticker spatula to lay things down. And pretty much once I'm done with that, you guys, we will be done, friends. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up down below. Also, too, go ahead and leave me a comment if you'd like to get in touch. And think about subscribing to my channel if you haven't already, if you'd like to see more of my videos. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And we'll see you next time. Bye!